So what the question was I got my ass kicked in Hutball, and how are you gonna stop that happening?
Learn to play.
Pass the ball. No pads.
I think the most done it as well, and remove the afterwards.
Yes.
You see the soil onto back.
Right, because we've got the fire traps and the acid traps and that stuff. We actually have a lot of mobility for these classes. One of the problems that's going on right now is you guys are playing in level 14, and because we wanted to make it a demo everyone can play, we've actually taken powers off from there as well. Like we have to go pretty hardcore stuff. One of the things people are asking is like, hey, it's really slow too when it's running. Sprint comes at 15. So it's right after that. By the time that you're actually on it, people come in and main abilities are making for it. By the time that everybody's running around play, you've all got enough control abilities to balance it out. So yeah, at the very beginning, that's why there's fire stuff and the acid pit. As you guys get better at the game, you'll learn that different classes emphasize different pieces, right? So people tend to learn very early, oh, Bounty Hunter. When the Bounty Hunter, if you're playing Bounty Hunter right now, he doesn't have his lasso, I don't think. When he gets it, you very quickly learn to stand on one side of the acid pit and see if anyone comes close on the other side of the acid pit. Other people are very fire central, other people are very drop pieces. Some people make better escorts. They're actually, Game's team has gone through really well and defined roles for each of the class powers and how you're supposed to play what is, let's be clear, a team-based game.
And yeah, I mean, no one's really using guard right now. The cover classes aren't really being used to their maximum potential. You know, there's a lot of sort of tactics there that we haven't been seeing at this stage. I'm just watching to see if that match has started with you. So yeah, there is a lot more to it.
What you're not going to see is places that are not team-based things. Like when you're on Alderaan, when you're on the WSWTOR, which are actually more, you know, the WSWTOR is more objective-based. Alderaan is like small groups, or when you're open the open PvP lanes. You're not going to see just acid traps.
Alright, next question.
How are you going to stop the specific classes being cornered for different roles? No, in high flapping, the flush points in operation. Specifically, they only want shadow.
So the question was, how are we going to stop specific classes getting cornered for specific roles? And actually what we've seen through testing is that is not really a problem because the things are so flexible. Nobody cares what your class is at. People do not advertise for an Inquisitor Shadow. People say, I need a tank. He's an assassin now. He used to be with the names. Jedi Wizard. Yeah. So what we actually see a lot is, and we're actually, we can't talk about all this, we're doing more things to make your roles more visible to other players, because that's actually what people are looking for. They don't care if you're an Inquisitor tank, or a Juggernaut tank, or you're playing a Bounty Hunter tank, they care about getting a tank. So actually, because you've got the different pieces, you've actually got a lot more flexibility to play the story you want, and then pick the type of player you want to be. Next, I'm the sober guy.
We've been told at the start we're going to have basic guild functionality. What does that entail as an experience to build and access it?
So, guild functionality, obviously, creating guilds, tracking guilds, all that stuff. The stuff that's basically in the phase 2, not for the online stuff, which Steven can talk about, but for the in-game stuff. The stuff that did not make the cut for launch is basically rankings, guild banks, all of that stuff, and it is the stuff that is sitting at the highest priority of post-launch. So expect to see it in, like, basically the quickest we can get that into the updates. Community is massively important. And it's massively important, obviously, let's just be completely frank, before people make subscription decisions, right? Like, this is number one on the bullet, is all the things that are going to allow people to keep their friends in, get their friends interested, get all your guild stuff together, and yeah, all of that is our top stuff. There are, the species question. There are not any races to be announced. That would be super funny. Like, Caucasus Mountains. There are no more species that are going to be announced before the release. We will not see, we've talked about this before, we're not going to see any of the super crazy, people keep saying like, oh, do the free crazies.
I want to be an Thorian.
Yes, I want to be an Thorian and relate to people in squeaky two-mouth talk and have nobody ever notice that I'm an Thorian. There's a reason, and I know people don't like the response when it comes, but it is the design decision that was made. We're not a sandbox game. We are telling a Star Wars cinematic story, and there has not been a freak race lead character of any major Star Wars product in history. Not one comic book series, not one book series, and there's a reason. You cannot, I'm not going to say you, because somebody's always like, I can! I know Trandoshan's in my heart. But in general, people cannot relate and understand those pieces. Star Wars as a fictional piece is the journey of us being a human perspective, going out into the unknown and meeting crazy, freaky things. So we're going to get all kinds of awesome, freaky aliens to fight, to talk to hang out with, to have as companion characters. But what I've always said is if we ever do actual, like, I'm going to be a Wookiee, right? I'm going to be a droid, I'm going to be an Thorian, it will be a class so we can do the story right. You will learn what it is like to be that thing. We don't want to just come out and say, hey, we just slapped, we don't want you to be a human in a Thorian suit.
Unless that's some weird plotline.
that may be an agent plotline.
Another question, please.
You're a gamer. You mentioned the social aspects of the game. Will this be linked with like things like Facebook or Twitter or anything like that?
That's been looked at. It's not going to happen for launch. Sorry, the question was, if anyone didn't hear it, are we linking to things like Facebook and Twitter and that sort of thing? It's really being looked at very, very closely, as are things like mobile apps and that sort of thing. Anything that connects outside of the game to inside of the game. But it's probably not going to be a launch feature.
If you tweet to Steven about what you're doing in game, he will retweet it out for you. So you can get, that's right, it's very similar to
the manual retweet service. In fact, I would actually say, me personally, I will fight with all of my heart to avoid us doing automatic tweeting based on achievements in the game.
Or how to make everybody stop following you on Twitter.
I did exactly that when a bunch of people started playing a game that shipped last year. Any other questions?
Yeah.
What was that?
What about character names? Secondary names?
We have a very good reason we have not discussed surnames yet, and that will be revealed before ship.
Or not. Those are the only two possibilities.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's one or the other. Yep, I suppose that's a possibility. I think it'll be revealed before ship. I'm hopeful. Anyone else? There will not be achievements in the game at ship, correct?
Not correct.
Not correct?
Not correct. Achievements have made ship, in fact. They have? Yes. So they're not going to be what you're...
Notice how we communicate carefully.
Yeah. This is why we have a Q&A.
Blindsided by these answers.
Yes. So achievements did make ship.
Really?
Yes. They're not going to be the achievements that we did not decide to go to, because we've got all the gameplay and all the stuff. The crazy achievements that we have to go through in place everywhere that are like, hey, if you drink 6 beers and fart in a cantina, those are not going to be the achievements. The achievements sort of, version 1 of the achievement system will go in, which is actually doing big heroic stuff, because there's a ton of great optional content in the Old Republic. So hey, I went through every world and kicked the world boss's ass, right? Those kind of achievements. That's going to be the level 1 system.
So there's no achievement for falling to your death?
Not at ship. So those are great gameplay things for once the game has aged a little bit, and people need reasons. You've maxed out your character, and you need reasons to go back to the other planets and run around and do that stuff. So that will come second. The first version of the achievement system we wanted to do was everything that is, hey, here's my bragging rights. Right? Here's the badass stuff I did in game.
And you thought you weren't going to get any other good news today. Fist bump for that one. Awesome. I didn't know that was happening. That's good. Anyway, next. What would that be?
No idea.
Is there going to be
Get
different
fan
game
money on
types?
the forums. Achievement unlocked. What?
Is there going to be different game types? Like, you know, like territories and, you know, obviously Hutball. Are you going to have different game types? Or?
You mean like PvP games?
Yeah.
So war zones was what you were really or PvP game types generally?
Yeah.
Okay, just a question about PvP game types. Yes, war zones. We have 3 war zones at ship. Hutball and Alderaan you've seen. Voidstar is the other one. Voidstar, by the way, finally, we announced Voidstar in this room.
A long time ago, and this is one of those big ones for the testing goes through. So we announced the Voidstar, and people actually asked me, they're like, what happened to the Voidstar? We announced the Voidstar, which was our assault map, so you go back and forth doing the boarding action game. It's actually had a lot of problems in its first incarnation. It was fun, but people didn't understand the basics of it. The GUI didn't work for it, etc., etc. Gage team pulled it. They said, we don't even want testing on this. It's bad. They've completely redone the entire game, and it's come back out. So Voidstar is actually looking fantastic. So we'll have a new one in front of people.
I'm pretty confident you'll see Voidstar relatively soon.
We don't have a lot of time left.
I know, but the good thing is now people know when the launch is, so it's not like this weird, you know, when I say soon, it's some time between now and shit. Anyway, what was I going to say? Yes, open world PvP is available, of course, and then just with objectives, that is.
Yeah.
And then there's just find a guy and hit him on the head. Next. Do you really have a question?
No,
You never have a question.
So there's a lot of people in the EU that are here that came out to this thing. Do you have something to share for people that are here that did here first? Anything?
How about a release date? That was pretty good, right?
You know how the community is. You always got to have more.
Yeah, come on.
Something EU specific?
Sure, why not?
We're opening a customer service center or not?
Where can we fly?
Can you what? You can buy at bioware.com/careers.
Yes, Bioware Ireland, folks.
And actually, we have someone who's a new Bioware employee as of like next month. Next month. There you go. Something European. So, alright, you know what I will say? I'm going to tell you the whole sordid tale of the European testing thing. Chris will cry with me as we relate this story.
The European testing way.
So everybody here probably knows this, right? We were like, European testing is coming really soon. We're about to open up European game testing. We're going to invite a whole big wave of people, right? Remember this?
Like 2 days.
Yeah, it was like 2 days away. It was 2 days away, and that was the week when we were planning to invite, that was the week of the first game testing weekend, and we were not going to invite a lot of people, but we were going to invite a significant number, and then the invite system broke, which was really embarrassing because it's the first time it's broken in like, whatever it is, a year and a half of game testing. So when that happened, all we were doing was scrambling to fix the invite system so we could invite the number of people we needed for the testing weekend. And at that point, there was just no way that we could invite anyone from Europe. And then immediately following that, we realized that
They started throwing beer at people.
we realized that yes, this new bill was coming down. And we decided that you know, we weren't going to go with it because it was a huge download and we were concerned that we wouldn't get that many people in. Now I understand that people, particularly those who live in Scandinavian countries who have like lightning, like, you know, light speed internet, who can apparently download 27 gigs in 5 minutes, but most people, there you go, there's one right here.
When you only have 3 people in your town, it doesn't share the bandwidth much. It's all yours.
Really good contention, but most people are not really capable of downloading that fast. So we made that decision. I apologize. We shouldn't have gone out and promised that, and that's the reason why I'm being so reticent about talking about when European testing is going to start, because I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. And then when I say it's coming as soon as possible, that means that the first opportunity I have to put people in, I've been putting Europeans into testing. In fact, as you can tell, we took 500 odd names today, so we're taking them in as fast as we can.
Will you invite people in this room?
Oh, yeah.
Will we invite people in this room? If if you weren't given a little ticket today from if you weren't in the keynote session, assuming you stay around because you're going to have to stay around so we can get your name and everything else, we'll put everybody who's here tonight in testing.
Stephen Reed, ladies and gentlemen, knows how to work a crowd.
And it would really suck for the people who have already left.
That was a joke.
No, I'm serious. Yeah, we'll do that. Although it's not, you're not going to get him. Someone, I swear to God, today, a guy came from the keynote session, he came down, he gave us his name, we put in his name in our thing. He walked away, and I swear, he looked at his phone 20 seconds later. He was like, I don't have the email yet.
I'm just sitting here at this desk.
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't connected to the internet. This isn't magic.
My pencil has no access.
Yeah, so it may take a couple of weeks. Anyway, there you go. That's a European question, though. Thanks for that.
Is European testing just stress testing now, or will we be able to make changes? Is that feedback going to make a difference?
Your feedback is absolutely going to make a difference. I don't think companion killing will be back on the, on the agenda, and Daniel could speak for half an hour on that. I mean, obviously we're very, very concerned about localized versions of the game, French and German. That's a particularly important piece for us. But the game overall, feedback is still super important to us, And in a way, feedback now is even more critical, right? Because it's the small, kind of minor stuff, but that can still have a huge effect.
Yeah, the game is enormous. So people find the really, really fun bugs that you have to take 27 specific choices to get to, right? Which, it has literally, like, we run the variables. Like, by the time you're 50th level, you are one of something like 34 million possible character builds, right? So having as many people as possible go through all this stuff and say, hey, if you do these ridiculous things, if you play like a completely schizophrenic person and you go dark side, light side, kill this guy, kill this guy, but do this, all of a sudden you get to the end plot and it explodes. Yeah, we'd like to know that.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons we're bringing a lot of people into testing. I've been told that the hardball game is finished, is that correct? And guess what? The Republic won again!
So let's be clear, at 0 to 2, that is apparently the worst Republic team there has ever been.
Alright, let's just get the next teams in, and we'll
That's the Empire team, there you go, keep it positive.
we'll keep answering some questions.